All right, so I adjusted the camera a little bit. Excuse the background. I just redid my room, and so I am working on getting that adjusted. And yeah, that jumpsuit on the wall is actually I don't know if you can see, maybe not, but it's actually a spacesuit from the Space and Rocket Center. So yeah, let's zoom out just a little bit. We're getting a little bit too much of my skin in there. All right, so this is what we're gonna go over today. Of course, you watched the intro, you know that we are discussing the Valve Index. So the first thing I want to talk about today, coming from the Quest, is the comfort of the Index. Obviously, the Quest is not the most notable for its comfort. The Quest 2 is, it's the Quest 2. You get what you pay for. The strap that comes with the Quest 2 is uncomfortable as hell. You can purchase aftermarket things, but in terms of what you get in the package, the Quest 2 is not comfortable. Even after trying the Elite strap and things like that, I was still very uncomfortable, very unsatisfied with it. I think a lot of it had to do with the shape of the Quest 2 itself. It just did not fit my face the way that it should have. It was putting a lot of pressure both right here on my brow bone, but also in my sinus cavity right here. So yeah, Valve Index gets to that point. The Valve Index, if you're not aware, it has a huge headset thing on it. By the way, fun fact about the Index, everyone talks about this little piece in the back that holds the cord. It comes with Velcro. You can Velcro that cord down so that it doesn't break that plastic piece on the back. But maybe people just aren't paying attention when they unbox their Index. I don't know, but mine came with Velcro. I secured that piece in the back with Velcro, haven't had any issues. And I'm coming from a Quest that I had cable managed on the ceiling. This one I have it on the floor, and we'll get into that later, but I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. But as far as comfort, this headset is spectacular. If you guys don't know, I have a Twitch channel where I spend a lot of time in VR chat. I spend a lot of time in the VR headset. I'm playing Beat Saber, I'm playing Half-Life Alyx, which is a fantastic game, by the way, and I'm so stoked that it came with my Index headset. I cannot tell you guys enough about that fucking game, but I digress. I spent a lot of hours in my VR headset. So far since having it, probably I've had it about a week, and I want to say I've probably put in about 50 hours roughly in the headset. Excuse me. The next thing I wanted to go over, the refresh rate. So this is really annoying when we talk about the Quest 2. Before I invested in the Index, everyone was talking about how great the Quest was because it had the option for the 120 hertz. I never, ever got it to hit 120 hertz. I noticeably could tell that my PC was struggling to use the link cable. It was struggling. Don't even get me started on AirLink. I bought the Quest 2 as a PC VR headset, which I was new to VR. I didn't understand the difference between the Quest and the Index or any other PC VR headset at the time. So that's why I wanted to make this video and kind of speak my opinion, because as someone who could have saved up and gotten the Index, instead of just getting the Quest 2, which I actually bought 2 Quest 2s. I bought 2 Quest 2s. That's a long story. Quest 2, Facebook Meta, whatever the fuck they're called, their customer service not that great. I had quite a few problems with their website, and then long story short, I went to Target and bought the Quest 2 because I was like, fuck it, I'm not even gonna bother with this. And then they ended up sending out the headset anyways and then charging my card again. So I regret buying it through the website directly. Refresh rate, sorry, I'm ADHD, guys. Refresh rate, the Valve Index, the fucking refresh rate on this headset is incredible. I can't emphasize that enough. If you are someone who has a Quest and you're thinking about upgrading to the Index, it is worth it. I know a lot of people are going to tell you out here that the Quest 2 is great, and if you don't just have a random $1,000 laying around, don't invest in the Index, just get the Quest 2. I'm gonna tell you straight up, my opinion, I wish I had waited and just bought the Index from the get-go, especially if you have a PC that can handle it. There's no point in getting the Quest 2. The Quest 2 is great for what it is. It's great for an introduction into VR. And I am thankful that they made it the price they did, because it made it more appealing to someone who was not in VR yet to get a VR headset. And then when I got it and I realized how much I loved it, I wanted more. I stepped up to the Index, and I'm so glad I did. The refresh rate is just spectacular. I'm hitting 144 hertz regularly, and I'm maxing out the resolution at 150%. I could go higher, but 150% resolution at 144 hertz on a 3070, and it's pushing it no problem. It's super helpful that it uses a display port instead of the USB 3.0s or a Type-C Thunderbolt style port, because it's depending heavily on the graphics card, and there's less latency, less drop frames, and it's so much easier on my PC. I can tell that my PC is not clocking out anymore for VR. The next thing I wanted to go over were the controllers. So the Quest controllers versus the Index controllers. What are my opinions? I love the Quest controllers, and there are going to be a lot of people that say that the Valve Index controllers are so much better than the Quest controllers. It really depends on what you need out of them. My main game is VR chat, so I appreciate the finger tracking. I appreciate that. Having that and being able to do gestures easier is spectacular. But when it comes to Beat Saber, Quest 2, the controllers on the Quest 2 are great for Beat Saber because they are just the perfect size, and the form factor is the same as if you were holding like a sword or something like that, or a saber. It just works, whereas these, because they are curved, but not only curved, they're also angled, you would think that the way that they fit in your hand, you think that the thing would come out like here, but it doesn't. It comes out here, which makes it a little bit more awkward to maneuver in game. And when you get it, or if you get it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But it's just, you rely a little bit more on your wrist, whereas with the Quest you can just slash. With these, you're kind of like, you have to have a little bit more with your wrist, so it's a little bit weird to get used to at first. But the controllers, for someone who appreciates Beat Saber so much, and I love Beat Saber and I spend many hours in Beat Saber, I gotta say that the Quest 2 controllers are better for that. But the controller overall, I like the features of the Index. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the durability of these controllers. One of these controllers got shipped to me and the vibrate feature doesn't even work in this left controller. It's very light. It's a light buzz. It's kind of like the bearing or the rod that spins the weight that creates the vibration is not tight enough to actually do it. It could be something else, but the vibrations in the Quest 2 controller are much stronger than the vibrations on the Index. So when you're playing Beat Saber and you're hitting those blocks and it vibrates, you're not getting that same feedback on the Index. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about and make clear, is that it is a completely different experience. So, you know, expect that. The next thing I wanted to go over is the screen door effect. So on the Quest 2, everyone was saying that the resolution is better on the Quest 2, that the screen door effect is less prominent, things like that. I have to call bullshit, okay? The Quest 2 may have a higher pixel density, but the screen door effect is way worse on the Quest 2 versus the Index. The Index has a much less noticeable screen door effect. The pixel density is, it's not as much as the Quest, but the resolution is so much better, partly due because of the fact that you're not using a USB port for the image to be transferred through. It's going straight through your display port, which is spectacular, and I cannot hype that enough. Display port VR way over the Quest 2, into discussion with that. But yes, the screen door effect is less noticeable to me as a former Quest 2 user on the Index than it is on the Quest. And I hear a lot of people saying that the screen door effect is worse on the Quest than it is on the, I'm sorry, opposite. I hear a lot of people say that the screen door effect is worse on the Index than it is on the Quest. And I don't agree with that whatsoever. It's way less noticeable to me, in my opinion. Colors. I will say this. Quest 2 does have better color than the Index. However, the Index has spectacular range for an LCD panel. The Beat Saber maps that I'm playing are full of fucking color, vibrant, great, they're fun. VR chat, all of my friends in VR chat look spectacular, the worlds look spectacular. It's just a better experience, okay? The speakers on the headsets themselves, okay? Some of you guys may use headphones. I'm not that person. I like to use what's on the headset because I don't like the idea of putting something else on top of my head. I like to feel a little bit more immersed into the game, which I'll get into in a little bit. But the actually, let me write that down so I don't forget. Immersion. The speakers on the Index are fantastic. The Quest 2, I was thinking when I got the Quest 2 that the speakers were awesome because I didn't know where the speakers were at first, and the fact that I was hearing it so clearly was just spectacular to me. I loved that. And then, you know, after researching it, watching videos and things, I figured out where the speakers were, and I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. The Quest 2 speakers, the Quest that I had, the first one I got, I actually busted the speakers on playing Beat Saber because I had the volume all the way up, because honestly, that was the only way I could play Beat Saber was with the volume all the way up. Even in VR chat, I had to have volume all the way up. There was never a moment where there was never a moment where I turned the volume down on my Quest 2, and it was very rare if I did. Maybe if some troll joined our lobby in VR chat and was like crashing and doing a bunch of random noises and shit, but that would be the extent of it. The speakers on the Index, I have them constantly at like 70-68%. They're never at 100 because they are so loud. They are clear. They don't clip, they don't burst, they don't sound washed out. They are just great speakers. They sound amazing, and I'm so glad that they put that into the headset, because it's great. And a lot of that is due to the fact that the Index is directly powered by a power outlet, and it is not in battery mode like the Quest 2. The Quest 2 has to run off a battery, so that was partly why the speakers are not as great, I'm sure. They had to get a big enough speaker in there you could hear with clarity, but small enough that it does not drain the battery. So, you know, that's that. Now, speaking about charging and batteries, the Quest 2's pluses, there are no more charging the headset. I don't have to charge the headset to turn it on. It turns on when I want it to turn on. It turns off when I want it to turn off. I can stay in as long as I want, even if the controllers die. That's another positive on this rechargeable batteries on the controller. I don't have to replace batteries anymore. I was spending so much money on AA batteries for the Quest 2 controllers. These batteries right here charge super fast. They have Type-C charging, which is amazing, and I'm so glad that they have Type-C charging. But these controllers charge so fast, and then they hold a charge for hours. I mean, I'm talking, I can go a full day in VR and then they will die at the end of my night. When honestly, by the time they die, it's time for me to get out of VR. I've spent so long in it at that point that it's just time to get out and take a break, rest my eyes, grab a snack, drink some water, take a shower, because, you know, most of us that are in VR probably need to take a shower a little bit more often than we do. But yes, these controllers are amazing. Love these controllers. That is the only downside though to this headset, in my opinion, in regards to the charging and things like that, is that when they do die, you have to charge them. You can't just pop another battery in like the Quest 2. You actually have to take a break from VR and charge them. I mean, you don't have to. You can go without your controllers if you're just one of those people that's hanging out with your friends on VR chat, for instance. But if you are playing Half-Life Alyx or Beat Saber, then of course that relies on the controllers. You will need to charge them. Before we get to my final thoughts, I want to go over Immersion, because I don't see a lot of people going into depth about Immersion when it comes to comparing VR headsets. Coming from the Quest 2, I did not have Phantom Sense. I did not have any immersion whatsoever when it came to VR in the Quest 2. For me, it was very I was very aware of my surroundings with the Quest 2 just because of how uncomfortable it was for me. In the Index, I am completely immersed, and that is something that I didn't understand when I got the Quest, or when I got the Index. It was like I experienced VR for the first time, but on a much higher level. The field of view is fantastic. I know the field of view on the Quest 2 is not awful, but it's not great, and it's very obvious that you're looking through, I call it tunnel vision, when you're looking through the headset and you can just see the fucking circles. You know, I don't like that. I want full screen in front of my eyes. The Index has a much wider field of view. You can even control the little slider on the front so that they push in closer to your eyes, which helps amazingly for field of view. The IPD sensor is fantastic. I cannot thank Index enough for putting the IPD slider on the outside of the headset, because in my opinion, how am I supposed to calibrate my IPD while in game if I can't even have the headset on? And that's one thing about the Oculus, is you get 3 options for 1, and then 2, you have to actually take the headset off and adjust it and then put it back on, which is honestly annoying as hell. The next thing I want to go over is, well, there's 2 more things I want to go over. 1, modability. I am huge on modding things. I mod everything. My Beat Saber's modded, VR Chat's modded. You know, everything that can be modded for me has been modded. I love that they put a Thunderbolt or a 3.0 jack in the front of the headset. It does get kind of warm. I won't lie to you, it does get kind of warm, but it's not hot and uncomfortable. And a lot of people make it sound like this headset gets so hot when it really doesn't. I haven't experienced it for myself yet. I keep the guard on the front off, so that might have something to do with that. But I, for the most part, have yet to experience a heat radiating from the headset. And I wear contacts, so I'm very sensitive to heat around my eyes. So, you know, I don't experience that at all, so don't worry about that. I know a lot of people talk about how hot the front of this headset gets. Don't worry about it. As long as you keep that plastic guard off of the front of it, you are good to go. But I do like the idea that we can mod it. I'm looking into getting a 3D panel for it so that I can, or not a 3D panel, but a LED panel on the front so that I can look like a cool guy walking around in my VR headset saying ERP question mark or something like that. I don't know, just something trolly. But yeah. And then the next thing I wanted to go over was the lenses. And this is the last thing I'm going to go over. As a Quest 2 user, you know what the circles mean, okay? In them lenses, those lenses are awful. I cannot explain this to you enough. The lenses in the Quest 2 are god awful. I didn't realize how bad they were until I got the Index. The Index's lenses are fantastic. I do get God rays. I'm not gonna lie to you. I get God rays every now and then. It's very rare, and when I do get it, I make it very known to everyone around me I'm getting God rays, and I'd like to go to a different world, because it is uncomfortable, because it basically blinds you. But that is such a great trade-off than the circle lenses like the Quest 2 has, because the Quest 2, those circles that you see all the time in your loading screen and things like that, it never goes away. In this, I never have that issue. You never see any kind of refraction in the lenses or anything like that. It is just clear. So clear. I promise it's so clear. That is pretty much all I have to say about the Valve Index versus the Quest 2. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really tried to explain my experiences with the Quest and then transitioning over to the Index. If you're thinking about it, I promise you it is 100% worth it. And yeah, it is a big price difference, but you know, it is totally worth it. But I think that's everything that I wanted to go over. I hope you guys enjoy your afternoon. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel, clicking on my video. If you're new to the channel, again, my name's Pixie. I go by Pixie Fruit. As you can see up there, it might be a little bit too bright for you guys, but Pixie Fruit TTV is my Twitch channel. If you guys want to follow me and see some of my adventures in both VR chat, Half-Life Alex, which is fantastic. I've been streaming that the last few days and it has been great. And I cannot thank Steam enough for putting their whole badussy into that fucking game because it's fantastic. But yeah, follow my Twitch, my Instagram, YouTube, of course. Subscribe on YouTube. Thank you. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. TikTok, everything is under Pixie Fruit, same as it's spelled below. So make sure you guys check me out, and I'll have some more not interviews, Lord have mercy. I'll have some more videos up soon. I'm really working on slowing down and actually putting effort into my content. So yeah, let me know if you are watching this video, if you have any questions about anything, leave them below, because I will actually go through and I'm probably going to make a follow-up video to this one answering your questions. So make sure if you have any questions, leave them below and I'll do that as soon as I can. And if I don't get enough questions, I'll try to answer them in the comment section below. But yeah, have a great afternoon and thank you so much. Bye guys.